Already did. And good afternoon, everyone. This is Denise Keniston here. I'm the CEO of Web for Retail, and thank you so much for taking an hour or so, a little less, maybe a little more, out of your valuable time in the middle of your business day to hop on to this jointly presented webinar called How to Leverage Instagram for Your Business with Nationwide Marketing Group and my company called Web for Retail. If you'd like to check out our website, it's web4retail.com. So always excited and appreciative to be working with Nationwide Marketing Group and to be talking to any of their membership. And of course, there are other people on this webinar as well. But thank you so much. Time is our gold currency now in today's business, and I really, really do appreciate you taking some time out and spending it with me. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. So let's hop right in. If anyone is having any audio problems, just let me know right now. The word that I'm getting from my staff that's hopped on is that the audio is good, but if you're having any audio problems, please do just let me know. A little bit of sort of kind of putting this thing together so you know what to expect. Any questions that you might have, if you could, please just let me know at the end of this webinar. We'll have probably a good 15 minutes to just answer some questions and such. And at the end of this webinar, I'll also be making available to you the PDF version of this webinar. There's some bullet points and stuff and that you might miss the first time around. So if you could hang in there with me till the end, you'll see the link to download the webinar so that you can print it out and go over it at your leisure. You're probably wondering at this point, or if you don't know who I am or haven't seen me speaking anywhere sort of on the circuit, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Denise Keniston. I am a former award-winning network news anchor, and I was a news anchor for 13 years, almost 14, and loved every minute of it. I worked at King Television in Seattle, which is one of the top 10 markets. I started my way very, very small in, I think, is the now smallest market, which is Yakima, Washington, and worked my way up to King Television with stops in New York and Washington, D.C. I worked on Capitol Hill for King, and that was a great experience. But that was my professional life before I went out as an entrepreneur. Speaking of entrepreneurs, when I left my television news anchoring job behind me and decided that I was going to hang out my shingle, we did a bunch of different things, but the company was called Keniston and Company, and we were the producers and syndicators of a television program that you may have heard of. It was called Treasure Hunt. We're going to be rebroadcasting those in the fourth quarter of 2017. They're being digitized now for the internet. You might have seen it's a knockoff of this. Sorry about that, folks. You might have seen a knockoff of this on the BBC called Bargain Hunt. In fact, HGTV approached me at the time and wanted to buy the trademark and the copyright to Treasure Hunt. I didn't sell it to them, and I still, to this day, own that copyright and that treasure hunt to be able to use that in television programming stateside and also in Europe. At the same time, Keniston and Company was also named by Ad Age magazine as one of the top 100 independent media buying companies in the country. We were the agency of record for Adelphia Cable when Time Warner Cable and Comcast Cable partnered to purchase Adelphia in what was at that time the biggest media merger of all time. It was $15 billion, and we were there. We had a ringside seat. My media buying company really got to see some really interesting things in terms of media mergers and how all of that happens. So just a little bit about why I have some knowledge about media, which is really what social media is now. It is now, here we are in 2017, really all about media. And just to sort of put that in perspective, it took 38 years or so before 50 million people gained access to radio. Remember when we were all young, we also ride around in our cars and listen to the radio. Well, it took 38 years before 50 million people gained access to radio. It took TV only 13 years. It took Instagram 1.5 years. And as we stand now, Instagram has followers or users of 500 million. So it has far eclipsed radio or television. Just some really interesting facts, I think, as it relates to social media and how it stacks up against traditional advertising. If you have your phone on you right now, why don't you hop on to Instagram, your Instagram app, and you can follow me. And while I'm talking on this webinar about Instagram, you'll be able to sort of follow along at the same time on your phone. So I'm going to give you about 2 seconds to hop on to thedenisekeniston.com. I'm going to give you just a couple of seconds. If you have your Instagram right there on your phone, that would be great. And I am thedenisekeniston.com. Some smart person decided they were going to take denisekeniston.com. I don't even think there's hardly another Denise Keniston out there in the universe, but they took it and I couldn't get it. So it is thedenisekeniston.com. All right, let's start from the very beginning. What is Instagram? Instagram is a free smartphone app used to capture and share the world's moments. Now, Instagram is a fast and beautiful way to share your life with friends through a series of pictures and videos. If you've used Instagram at all, and I'm believing that some of you probably have, then you know it is primarily a photography app. Mobile is the core of Instagram, and you can upload or create a post from a phone, and it is primarily used from your phone. Excuse me, folks, I'm just getting a cup of water there. And it is made to be mobile so that you can take it with you every day. That is the whole primary purpose of Instagram, and as it turns out, all of these social media apps are really all about going mobile. Now, great Instagram accounts take their followers with them. You can take it on the road, you can go behind the scenes, sneak peeks into new products and events. So Instagram at its very nature is a free smartphone app and is used to capture and share the world's moments as you are sort of on the road and on the move. All right, how do you use Instagram for business? First off, you need to download the app onto your phone. Unlike other social networks, Instagram is strongly app-based, as I've said, so pull out your smartphone, find Instagram in your app store, and download it. Now, I'm using iPhone screenshots throughout this post or throughout this webinar, but the layout will look the same on Android devices. Number 2, create an account using an email address. Now, if you've set this up for your personal profile, okay, I don't want you to hook in your personal Facebook profile into your business account, okay? This is super important. While it might make sense at first to just log in with your Facebook account, don't do that. That will immediately create an account based on your personal Facebook page. This one is for your business. Remember, we're talking about your business. Go ahead and use your business email address. 2 separate things. Choose a recognizable username. Now, on that next screen, you'll be asked to create a username and a password, as well as setting your profile image. These are 2 of the most important steps because they will secure your brand's name and make it easy for people to find and follow you. So let me give you an example of what this will look like. We used to call it vanity URL, so it would be Instagram.com / in my case, Web for Retail. Instagram.com / John's Appliances. Instagram.com / Smith's Furniture, for example. Very important that you get that URL that captures the correct username. Okay, so we're talking about your business account, right? So it should be different than what your personal profile is, and pay very, very close attention to that username. Now, if it's taken, like it was in the case of mine, Denise Keniston, I put the word THE, the Denise Keniston, in front of that. So there'll be variations that you try to find if somebody has already taken your username, because there are so many people and so many businesses on the internet now. That's something that you might run into. Okay. If you want to take your personal profile and convert it into a business profile, and there are a couple of reasons that you might do this. If you're already sort of out there on Instagram and you're taking pictures in your store, promoting your store, so on and so forth, on your personal profile, and if you've already built up a good following, it might make sense to convert that to your business profile. Now, go to your personal profile in order to do this. Go up to the gear, it looks like a gear, and tap Switch to Business Profile. On the Connect Your Facebook Page screen, and that will pop up, you'll see all of the Facebook pages you are currently an admin on. Okay, people get really hung up on this. You should already be an admin on your own Facebook page. If you aren't, make sure you are. If you said, no, I don't want to be an admin on my Facebook business page, go ahead and be an admin. You don't want to leave those administrative rights up to somebody who works in your store, your kids, your grown kids, your high school kids, whatever it might be. Certainly your Facebook business page rises to the occasion of being more important than just letting somebody else completely be the admin. The admin is the ultimate on your Facebook page and any of your social media. Just to really drive this point home, if somebody wanted to delete your page and they were an admin on it, they could do it, and there really wouldn't be anything that you could do about it. They could kick you off it. They can do a whole bunch of different things to sabotage your social media. So take this very seriously. You want to be an admin on all of your social media pages. Okay, so let's go back to Instagram, and you're saying, well, why is Instagram hooked into my Facebook? That is because Facebook owns Instagram. Back in the day, before Facebook went public, Mark Zuckerberg decided that he was going to buy this thing called Instagram. And over the weekend, and he wasn't even 30 years old at the time, over the weekend, he purchased Instagram for $1 billion. That just rocked the investment world. Now that was, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years ago now. And of course, $1 billion seems like cheap money to have bought Instagram. And he did that. He made that decision very, very quickly. So when we talk about anything to do with Facebook and those back-end interfaces being connected, that is why they are seamlessly connected. So that's sort of the backstory to that. So to convert your personal profile to a business profile, if you choose to do that, go to your profile, to the gear, and tap Switch to Business Profile. On the Connect Your Facebook Business page, and now you know why it pulls in Facebook, you will see all of your Facebook pages that you are currently an admin on. Select the page that you'd like to associate with your business profile. If your business is called Jim's Appliances, that's what you want associated with your Instagram business profile. Okay, I don't want you to get hung up or press the wrong buttons here or any of that kind of thing, because it's very difficult to reverse any of these changes that you've made. So please do make sure that you know that you're an admin on your Facebook page and that you're pulling things in from your Facebook page, and the handshake between those two are exactly what you want. Jim's Appliances on Facebook is being pulled into Jim's Appliances on Instagram. On the Set Up Your Business Profile page, review your business's contact information and make any changes, and then you can tap the Done button. Now, with a business account, you'll be able to get access to new business features and Instagram Insights. What Insights are really they're the analytics. So if you've ever looked at your Facebook Insights, Instagram Insights are very, very similar. So it gives you all of the information, how many people are watching your or hopping onto your Instagram account, how many people are clicking through, what your click-through ratio is, so on and so forth, how many pages or how many photos are being viewed. So Instagram Insights are pretty much a mirror image, if you will, of Facebook Insights, and they're inspired from Facebook. So before we move on any further, I just want to make sure that we've made that distinction between your business your personal profile, your business profile, and if you decide to convert your personal profile to a business profile, how you're going to do it. I also wanted to make it really clear as well that the reason why Facebook and Instagram are so hooked into each other is because Facebook owns Instagram, and just by virtue of that, they're very closely connected. And of course, we now know that was a brilliant move by Mark Zuckerberg to go ahead and purchase Instagram. Okay, the next thing that you're going to want to do, because at the heart of this mobile application is how to upload a picture. And if you have a smartphone, and most of you out there probably do, you know how really super simple it is to add a photo. But we will just sort of hop into this piece of it and go on the assumption that you followed the instructions and you've gone to the App Store on your phone and you've downloaded the free Instagram app and you've signed in and you're ready to start uploading pictures. All you need to do is to tap your camera button on your phone, take a picture or choose one from your phone's storage, and then what will pop up is the Instagram editing interface. You probably have heard a lot about filters. They have all kinds of fun filters. You can make it look retro. You can make it look red. You can make it look blue. But you can edit your images. You can also do some cropping as well in the Instagram interface. Once you've edited the photo, then you want to add a caption. Now, one of the things that I tell people is copywriting is very important, and it's something that I've been talking about a while. For 2017, it's something that I'm continually talking about, is adding great copy to any of your photography that you're putting up on any kind of social media, and then add some hashtags. So say for the sake of argument, you're in the appliance industry, you're going to want a hashtag appliances, hashtag Whirlpool, hashtag Electrolux, or hashtag I love Electrolux. As you do this more and more and more, you will know what the hashtags are that are specific to what your industry is. Then you tap the check mark button, and then you can go to your profile your Instagram page, and you'll be able to see that you've actually uploaded, successfully uploaded a photo to your Instagram account. So there really is a marriage here about how you use the photography or camera app on your phone, and I'll use an iPhone because that's what I have, for example, and how you do that. You take the picture on your phone, and then you can seamlessly upload it directly to your Instagram account. So just wanted to make sure that you were kind of, cognizant that that's really what was happening, is the camera app is on your phone and it comes with your phone, but you can also upload those same photos that you're taking on your phone to your Instagram account. I know it seems very straightforward, but sometimes that connection can be lost on people. All right, so this to me will be my favorite part of talking about any kind of social media. It's really amazing to me that what is old is really new. I've been around the marketing world and advertising world for a long time. There was an old saying that fell out of favor for a while, that content is king. And then it kind of went away. Oh, we don't really worry about that anymore. It's really just getting whatever out there on the internet. And now we are squarely back in the position that where content is king. And remember, really, your number one job as a business and as the person who's running your business, or if you're working in a marketing department for a larger company, really your number one job is to tell your story to the consumer wherever they are, and of course preferably at the moment that they're ready to purchase. And really social media is a 24/7 thing now. It just goes on and on and on and on, and I won't try to convince you of the virtues of that, but what is really awesome about that is you can be connecting with, through your great content, your potential customers day and night, 24/7. It isn't just when your storefront is open that you're connecting with your customers. So content really is the name of the game. It always has been, but now the internet has come of age. And if you can think of the internet really as a broadcast, the internet now is what television used to be 20 years ago. TV is now what radio used to be. Print really isn't even part of the game at all anymore. The internet is very sophisticated. It consumes high quality, HD quality video. And it really is about creating great content that represents your store and your brand. I want you to get into the mode of saying, you know what? I'm creating killer content for all of my social media platforms. Now, I will say this one thing about Instagram, and I can tell you what we're seeing at my agency, what we're seeing for our agency, what we're seeing for my own brand, and what we're seeing for client brands. And that is that Instagram is far and away delivering more return on our investment than any other social media platform. I'll just take something very timely, which is when we were promoting this webinar. Clearly, the most click-throughs and the most subscribers that we received came from Instagram, far and away. So there might be a couple of reasons for that, but Instagram really is our lead horse now when it comes to client acquisition and getting our brand on the internet. There really is no other social media, no Google AdWords, certainly not any traditional advertising. It is all about Instagram. And saying hello, if you just say hello to your customers, really isn't creating an ROI. It really is about building relationships. And that is, it is so key, and that's the thing that you can do through all of these social media platforms, is build that relationship. When you're on Instagram, you can create a conversation. Think about your subject. Of course, you'll be using your native camera, which is the one that's on your phone. If you've hopped onto my Denise Keniston Instagram account, you're probably seeing some professional photography, and I think that there's a place for that as well, mixing it up with more personalized photography. Embrace all of the tools. Like I said, you can use filters, you can crop, you can have a lot of fun with great content and how to make it look really fun and interesting. Be playful. Don't, don't worry about not coming off as that super serious business person. And I would really encourage you to make your account, your Instagram account, all about people and not about just what you're selling. On the internet and really anywhere, there's no bigger turnoff than to have somebody who's trying to sell you and sell you and sell you and sell you over and over and over. So take this time, rather than saying, okay, here's our sale for a dryer at $2.99. It's a doorbuster. Show people with the dryer. Show somebody fooling around safely in the dryer. We have a client who did that. There are many ways to be creative. And if you have a creative bone in you, this is your opportunity to sell in a really great way and fun and engaging way, to sell and brand your company. Reinvent the selfie. I mean, we all kind of laugh, and I know, oh, selfies are for teenage girls, but you can have an awful lot of fun with the selfie. We have great success. The selfies that we have our clients take are to turn that camera on themselves with happy customers. So if you own the store, turn the camera on yourself with the person that you just sold that washer or dryer or that kitchen set or whatever it might be, and take a happy picture with a happy customer and you being happy as well. Remember, social media really is the opportunity to sort of reinvent yourself as a business owner and as a person that sells merchandise. You get to be a bigger personality. Compare that to if you're buying 30-second TV spots on your local, locally, on your local TV channel. You have 30 seconds. You don't have time, and you're paying $300 or whatever it might be, and same thing with radio. You don't have time, literally, you don't have the time to be playful, to create your own personality. On social media, you have that opportunity. It runs 24/7. You can upload photos anytime you want. You don't need anyone's permission. You don't have to go to a TV station and say, here, I'll give you $300. Could you run my ad? In a sense, you can run your ads on social media whenever you want. The landscape has been completely opened up for you to be able to do it. I will say this, keep it real. The internet, and certainly the lens of a camera, and as a former news anchor, I'll tell you this, the camera will see somebody being not themselves, not being genuine very quickly. Go with what you have. Keep it real. Be who you are. If you say, well, I'm not a happy, light, playful person, you know what? I bet you are. I bet somewhere in there you are. And this gives you an opportunity to, find the fun side of doing your business and showing that to other people. Another huge point to this is to be consistent. You don't want to start doing this and do it, a couple days a week, and then all of a sudden you go away and then you come back. I know you've seen that on the internet yourself. You're like, oh, I don't know, are they around? Who are they? Or, oh, geez, they're back now. I remember seeing them. This whole thing is about being consistent. And what if someone said to you, look, I can put your ads on television, wide open. It won't cost you anything. And you can just put these TV ads whenever you want. You'd be all over that. You would think, wow, this is the greatest thing since sliced bread. TV exposure for free. Compare that to any kind of social media, Instagram in particular. You can get far more eyeballs by broadcasting on social media, and in particular on Instagram. And you also want to convey a message. Get your message clear when you go out to any social media platform, in particular Instagram. All right, so you're probably asking, okay, you kind of convinced us that content is the way to go. What is great content? And for Instagram, I'm really going to boil it down to you so that you have something tangible to walk away with. Generally speaking, Instagram is all about photography and quotes. If you can boil it down to those two things that we know will get traction on Instagram, it's great photography and quotes. So this is screen grabs of my Denise Keniston profile. And you can see I use quotes frequently. There's one here, you know, only make moves that count, love what you do, and then you'll always create good work. Keep it light. Here's me sort of frowning. Some people just need a high five. And then separate, just quotes separately, just quotes out there on their own. These are the things that we know, that I have proven for myself and for my clients, and it's well documented on the internet. This is what works really well with Instagram. Now there's a caveat to that, and I don't want to get things too complicated today, but Instagram allows you a minute's worth of video now. So videos also do very well on Instagram. You can't do an endless video on Instagram. You have a minute, so stick with that. They keep it short for a reason. And what we know is that we have about 8 seconds to grab somebody's attention. In a world of swiping, there's a dating app called Tinder, and you just swipe. You look at the person's image, and then you just swipe that image away if you don't like it. So in a world where everything is moving so fast and content is just being gobbled up at an incredible rate, know that you have a very limited amount of time to get people's attention. But the beautiful thing is when you do get their attention, you can make them a potential customer for life. So great content is really sort of thinking about what's going to be interesting. On Thursday of this week, we're going to be going out and shooting with the drone. Now, we take things at Web for Retail a little bit to a different level, but I would bet you that those photographs are going to get a lot of attention. Say what you will about drones, we're going to take it out by the ocean. I'm here in Boston, so it doesn't interfere with anyone, but we're always thinking about new and fun and interesting and engaging ways. But if you had to boil it down in your busy world, what is great content for Instagram? It's great photography. It's great videos that you can shoot on your phone, and it's also short inspirational quotes that you can loop in from your business, from how you feel, inspirational quotes about being a business person. It really is endless. You just have to sort of switch on that part of your brain that is creative, a little more creative than maybe when it is just the selling of merchandise. So you have the opportunity to be creative about your business as well. And then you want to get those likes. So this is our campaign, the Denise Keniston brand campaign from New Year's, which is goodbye 2016, hello 2017, let's get this party started. And I'm going to show you this right here. I was talking earlier about copy. Don't just upload a photo and not write anything about it. We have found that the more copy that you write, the story that you tell, increases the numbers of likes, follows, click-throughs to your website than if you're posting photos just standalone. Now I know you're saying, oh my gosh, I don't like to write, I don't, you know, but you've got to find a way to do these things. You have to become engaged in creating this content. If you do, it will pay you so many dividends. The copy is only really half of the picture. The photograph, of course, is one half. And then the copy, when I refer to the copy, it's an industry term, I guess. What I'm referring to is the actual words, your description that you use to describe this copy. Now, here we are down in my hashtags, and I'll talk about that in just a second. You want a hashtag as well. But the copy, again, as I've said, that really is such an important part of this. And yes, people read the copy. If it's good copy, they'll read it, they like it, and they like to see that. All right, Instagram also has something called Instagram Stories. All of these social media platforms, of course, they evolve, and this is one of the evolutions of Instagram, is Instagram Stories. So this is a screenshot from my Instagram app, and you can see right up here it says your story. And I'll tell you what Instagram stories are. You want to tap the plus sign at the upper left-hand corner right here, screen to get started. You'll see this in your feed, and if you don't know what your feed is, see that it looks like a little roof, a little housetop. That'll take you to your feed, and up here will be Instagram stories. Take a photo by tapping the round button, or take a video by pressing down for up to 10 seconds. Number 3 is select one of the 3 pen type options to doodle on your photo. You can add an emoji using your keyboard or swipe right to select a simple color filter. When you're done, tap the check mark icon to share and check out who saw your story by swiping up when viewing the photo or video. Sort of the inside scoop on this is people were uploading all kinds of photos on a daily basis to Instagram, just the still photos. And to sort of cut down on all of that activity, they created stories. So you can add a bunch of photos to your stories, and then they will post on your page. And that was kind of Instagram's way of condensing all of the photos that you might be individually posting throughout any given day. Instagram stories are huge. It's kind of Instagram's answer to Snapchat. We'll be doing a webinar coming up on Snapchat, but it's Instagram's answer to Snapchat. And just a little sidebar on Snapchat, again, that is also native to your phone. It's an app. It's really important. If I had 2 social media networks or platforms that I had to choose for clients outside of Facebook, and I don't even know if I would choose Facebook against Instagram and Snapchat at this point. And ironically, they're native to your phone. You really don't use them on your desktop. So think about also creating Instagram stories. Now, people ask me all the time, how much should I post on Instagram? And at least once a day, but my real answer to that is probably going to scare you a little bit. The more content you can put out there, the better. I would not put any more photos on Instagram a day than 3. That's what we do at DeniseKeniston.com and Web for Retail. But I would not post anything on any given day, and that goes back to the consistency. You want to be continually getting fun and interesting content out there. Then you can also create your stories, and those will also post to your page as well. So in terms of frequency, I would be doing Instagram 3 times a day. I didn't say a week, I'm talking about 3 times a day. If you're super busy in your store and feel like you don't have time for this, then at least 1 a day. But you should be posting to Instagram at least once a day. And we do it here at Web for Retail, and do it for clients 3 times a day. And the benefits that we get from that are just amazing. So you have to do it consistently, and but you'll see the results and the rewards. Okay, the all-important hashtags. Hashtags will make or break you. Hashtags are the way that people funnel information or follow certain hashtags on Instagram. So say for the sake of argument it was 2017 or New Year's Eve. We were doing a lot of posting on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, and we used the hashtag New Year's Eve 2017. You can hashtag, like I said, Whirlpool, Electrolux brand, appliances, any of those kinds of things that relate to your business, but also think outside that. You know, push those borders so that if you have somebody who's, for example, if you're selling a sofa and you have, you know, some happy customers sitting on the sofa, you can hashtag that happy customer, hashtag made the sale, all of those kinds of things that really aren't hashtag furniture or hashtag sofa. You know, push those boundaries, hashtag fun, hashtag photo of the day, IG photo of the day. Push those boundaries a little bit, because you have to know that most people aren't searching appliances or washer dryer although those are legitimate hashtags, you also want to be pulling in as much as you can. Now, there's a caveat to that, and that is, don't put up a picture of happy customers on your Instagram and hashtag it with the hashtag Justin Bieber, just so you think you can get eyeballs. It's not, number one, it's not going to work. But number two, it really isn't what your photo is about. We know that Justin Bieber gets followed on Instagram, and he's one of the number one hashtags himself, but it really doesn't work for you. So sometimes people think, yeah, I'm just going to start hashtagging celebrities, and won't that be great? It really doesn't work that way. So just, if people are having fun, happy customer, just made the sale, don't care, whatever it might be, hustle is big on the internet these days, hashtag hustle, hashtag sales hustle, all that kind of thing. Those will work as really great hashtags. But hashtags are what people are following on Instagram and all over the internet. So, fall back, ask yourself what the hashtags are for your business, and make sure that you run with that. And to make things even a little more complex, and this is hands down my favorite thing of 2017, and I was talking about it in 2016 as well, is how to leverage Instagram for your business using live. You can do a live shot. Of course, I'm from the broadcast, so I call it a live shot. It feels just, to me, it feels just like doing a live broadcast. You can do a live video broadcast on Instagram now. Now, Facebook has made that available even before Instagram rolled it out, and we do a bunch of Facebook Lives, and we also do Instagram Live. So you can go live in 3 easy steps. Click on My Story, scroll to the left, and then click on Live. Now, you can turn this camera towards you, or you can turn the camera away from you. People who are afraid and say, oh my gosh, what would I say? My gosh, I'm live, what do I say? Really don't want to turn the camera on themselves. They just would kind of like maybe walk around their store and narrate it, if you will. And I think that that will work. As a broadcaster, what I know is that people like people. People like to have people saying fun and interesting things to them. So I'll just give you an example, and let's just say we did this. Let's just say it was Black Friday, although I know Black Friday really isn't a thing anymore so much. But we had one of our clients go live, turn the camera on himself, and said, hi, I'm Bob Smith, and I'm broadcasting live, and it is a great Black Friday. And he walked and talked and walked around his store and got an awful lot of people watching him do that live broadcast. Now, I'm going to up the ante on this just a little bit, and I'm going to tell you, at this point, you cannot purchase ads to get people to watch this. Right now, your live broadcast is limited to the people that already follow you. We are only a month or 6 weeks away from Facebook and Instagram making it available for you to purchase your reach. Now, if you buy TV spots, you know what I'm talking about. Purchasing reach is what you do on TV and radio. So think about this. If you are in Jacksonville, Florida, you can set up your live shot in your store, and you can purchase the reach for a couple of $100, and your reach would be in the Jacksonville DMA, your footprint, and you could buy that and reach those people directly yourself without having to go to the TV station or the radio station. And you wouldn't be limited to a 30-second spot. Would you not do that? That's why I'm calling all of these social media live broadcasts. At the very least, I think they're going to hasten the transition of cable television. I really think it's going to supplant or take the place of cable television TV spots. We're really at the forefront of this. I would encourage anyone to take this seriously and to get your store, however you decide you're going to do it, consistently using some kind of social media live. I love Instagram Live. I love Facebook Live. Do this. It is the future. I've been in media for a really long time, and I've predicted this. I was doing Facebook Lives when they first came out. It's gotten traction now, and I would really, really encourage you to do this on Instagram as well. It's going to change the way we buy television advertising forever. We're in that transition right now. We really are. We're in that transition right now. And if you start doing live broadcasting on Instagram and Facebook, you'll be ahead of the curve. You certainly will be beating out your competition, because I know that a lot of stores are very reticent to do this. The technology seems scary, but it really isn't. It's very, very simple. All right, we have, and I'm just about on time. To download the PDF of this free webinar, you can visit the denisekenniston.com/webinars page. And I will put this in the chat as soon as I get done here. I'm going to hop over and take your questions. I know that there was, and I've also recorded this, and I'm going to be uploading it to the website as well, but if you want that PDF version, it will be there in about 10 minutes after this broadcast. So to download the PDF of this free webinar so that you have it and you can keep notes and make notes on it once you've printed out, it will be there available for you to do that. As always, you can contact me on all of my social media. I'm at Denise Kenniston, or in a couple of cases, I'm at the Denise Kenniston. So you can find me on Snapchat, Google+, Pinterest, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And of all of these, you're going to go, oh, Denise, wow, there's so many. I love Instagram right now. We know that the reporting is coming back for us, that is right now our #1 source of lead generation, and also our #1 source of branding for us. We get more click-throughs, as I said, through Instagram than anything else at this point. One other caveat to that is we'll be talking about Snapchat, and then in the future we'll also be talking about YouTube. I didn't really talk a lot about YouTube, but we certainly are getting behind all of this as it relates to video. So I'm going to now go over here. You can probably see the interface here, and if anyone has any questions at this point, we can sort of go over these questions. If you had anything that you wanted to ask me as it relates to Instagram and using Instagram for your business, you can feel free to ask me at this point, or I can just sort of give you my, my sort of feeling further about Instagram. It's funny because when I hear people debate, the need for the ROI of social media, it really does make me remember why so many businesses, why they fail. Most businesses aren't really playing the marathon. They're playing the sprint. They're not really worried about lifetime value and retention. They're more worried about short-term goals. And that's the thing about social media, is that you're really building a fan base, potential customer base, in a way that we've never been able to do it before. If you could go back and think about, as a marketer, the days when you had to almost go hat in hand to the TV station, certainly print and radio stations, and you had to negotiate very expensive per spots, and really you had no option. If you were going to get your business out there, you had to play by their rules. This is very, very different. You don't have to play by anybody's rules when you're working with social media, and it has evolved to the point where it in terms of its reach and its potential reach and the frequency, what do they say? You're trying to get frequency on television with your television ads. You can do all the frequency that you want on social media, and it isn't like you're having to pay for it per se. every time you run one of your ads. So if you can just sort of, rethink your thoughts about how social media can support your business, then this is really a turning point in terms of social media as it relates to and is compared to traditional media. I still love traditional media. I just think it's overpriced. The pricing structure of traditional media now is a pricing structure when they didn't have any competition prior to the internet. Well, why would you spend so much money on traditional media when you can get way more frequency and a greater reach, or at least an equal reach, on social media? Why would you do that? The only thing that holds a lot of people back is they say, what do I post? What do I push out on social media? And the answer to that is content. So one way or another, you have to get somebody who's building out your content for you. And people, of course, don't do that for free. Or you're able to, build this and create the content on your own with your phone, or if you're a photographer or a videographer or a graphic artist. But however that works out, you really do need to get in that content creation game. And Michael's asking, does the number of followers really matter on Instagram? I don't think the number of followers, although it is a badge and people like to have a lot of followers, really what you want are people that respond and engage with your content. If they like it or leave you, a comment, that to me is really how it is measured. And so while followers are kind of a badge, and certainly we want to get as many followers as we can, I remind myself, and I also encourage all of our clients, that it really is about the engagement, how many people like your content, what they have to say to you about it. So that's the answer to that. Then does the number of followers matter? Not really. I really would rather see a great deal of engagement. Do you recommend boosting posts on Facebook that are content and not sale promotions? I do. And you can be creative in terms of the content that you put up there. It doesn't necessarily have to be, sorry about that, folks, my phone, I had it shut off, I thought, but it doesn't have to be about all your sales. So again, if you have a recliner, you can show somebody having a good time, or a couple people fighting over trying to get into the recliner. And maybe you could be funny and say, you know what, folks, just so happens we have a sale on this recliner. The reason these boys are fighting over this is because we only have a couple left. That is a way to talk about a sale and a promotion that isn't really saying, hey, come on in and buy our $2.99 sofa. So again, just want to lighten this whole process up, and don't sell directly using this. There has to be, some sort of, lighten up on the hard sell. This really isn't direct marketing so much as it is just a lighter touch. And I'll tell you, it's powerful. It's a powerful thing. She says, just a comment, I started using Instagram 3 months ago and the engagement is insane. I can definitely identify with what you're talking about. So yes, it is. Instagram is really where it's at, and I would encourage anyone who is not using Instagram at this point, and the engagement is insane. It's almost startling once you start using it and figuring out what your hashtags are. It's, if we go back to, Aaron, the idea of, sofas, you could have a really good time on Instagram and even on Facebook with that whole sofa sale if you have the guys fighting over the sofa. I don't know, I kind of just came up with that on the top of my head, but you could run with that as a campaign, and the same boys are fighting over this. you know, the new sofa, the new recliner, and, you know, who won this time, or, you know, and the engagement would go through the roof. You could put hashtag recliner battle, any of that kind of thing. Just remember, you're getting fun with this, and the engagement, you'll see it. Like I said, it will be startling. It definitely will be startling. So, and that's a good thing because you get the reaction to your content. I will sort of wrap this up and say, all of this in terms of budgets, because I know in the back of your mind you're going, wow, this seems so great, but what's the budget on this? And the internet is not free any longer. And we can no longer get away with putting up substandard content, you know, photography that's poorly lit, or audio that isn't good, or any of that kind of thing. If you have it in your budget, and I just talked to somebody about this yesterday, a new client of ours, get used to the fact that you need to have somebody shooting photography for you. That's a given. You just have to, and you need a lot of it. It's not just a couple of, hey, I'll turn this around and one photo goes up 1 week. It isn't like that. You need to have a stream of photography and a stream of short videos. Now, do you have to have a professional come in and shoot video all the time? No. And if somebody made me choose, I would say stick with still photography. It's the least expensive. Video can get really expensive and can be hard. Video can just be kind of difficult. There is iMovie on your phone, and I edit movies on my phone and stuff, but I do this professionally. So what we encourage our clients to do is to get a photographer in the store at least once a quarter. Get a photographer in there once a month and have him shoot a bunch of photos, a whole bunch of you, your clients, all of, you know, your deliveries, things being brought in, everything that you can think of, the street where your store is located, your customers, your anything that you can think of, hundreds of photos. Now, you don't want to put the bad ones up there. The bad ones you leave on the cutting room floor, but the good ones you keep, and get into this zone of, we're putting good content out a lot, and we're doing it on a very consistent basis. And it really will. It's like I said, it's almost startling, at least on Instagram, the amount of engagement that you'll get. And the more, to Aaron, the more you know, do the funny, hey, the boys are battling over the recliner, the more you get into that kind of fun, and it doesn't always have to be like that, the more you will be inspired to do that. I'll wrap this webinar up with saying, if you at all have an addictive personality, this will consume you. It's very addictive, it's a lot of fun, and it's very rewarding for your business because you will sell stuff using this. So I don't think that we have any more comments at this point. I appreciate everybody hopping on. Thank you so much for your time, sharing your time with me. I know it's a commodity, and I really do appreciate it. If you have any other comments, or if you ever want to reach out to me, I'm on social media. You can also go to my website and find my phone number and also my email address. So I do apologize. It's you know, my phone has been ringing off the hook, but I do run an agency, and people have been managing to get through. So thank you so much. I look forward to seeing a lot of you folks down at the convention in New Orleans in March. I'll be talking about Facebook Live down there. And as always, thank you to Nationwide, and everybody, you have a great week.